Hello Instagram, it's Christopher Taylor with Sovereign Harmony. Give you a little update for this week in astrology. It's a nice day up here. It's Monday, January 13th. We got the full moon coming up. Actually, it was just a couple hours ago, I should say. So the full moon in Cancer, also just coming off the node switching signs. So over the weekend, you might have felt that shift. North node from Aries into Pisces, south node from Libra back into Virgo. So just to reiterate, that has a lot to do with letting go, trusting over the next 18 months, and also releasing the need to control things so much, direct things, take care of every little detail, kind of trust that the details will be taken care of and focus on the big picture. That's really the message here. And then this full moon hits today in Cancer, and it's right within a couple degrees of Mars retrograde. So again, Mars has been retrograde since December 6th. It started in Leo. It's back into Cancer. It's in late degrees of Cancer right now. And it's about halfway through its retrograde cycle, which we'll see on Wednesday when the sun opposes Mars, because that's really what that's that point when the sun opposes Mars. That is the opposition that represents the halfway point between the current retrograde, which will end February 23rd, go direct in Cancer, and then it'll move through Leo in the spring again. Part of this full moon, it's connected to both Uranus in Taurus and Neptune in Pisces. And this speaks a lot to this idea, again, of almost like what the nodes are telling us to do over the next 18 months. Just immediately now this week, we're already getting the message that it's important to trust the process, be open to new, don't cling to the old, especially old emotional patterns. Mars retrograde in Cancer. Mars is already struggling in Cancer. It's in the opposite sign that it's exalted in, so it's what's called detriment, and it's retrograde. So we have this full moon highlighting that. So it's a challenge. We have to be really conscious of how we're emotionally responding in situations, because what this is asking us to do essentially is to do things differently. And with Uranus and Neptune gently aspected to this full moon, there's a pathway to do that. There's a pathway to let go to the unknown and to move forward from there. So answer that calling, essentially, is what the energy is telling us to do this week. And so that energy with the full moon is going to be with us all week, next couple of weeks really, and beyond. But as it's happening, like we said, we'll have the Mars opposition to the sun representing the halfway point of the retrograde cycle. So we're on the the downhill side of that now. And also Venus in a Pisces, so reiterating that Pisces energy, so Neptune and the North Node in Pisces, and now Venus in Pisces. Pisces is a strong energy over this next few months really, through about April or so. And so Venus is going to be squaring Jupiter, which is retrograde in Gemini. And so Venus and Jupiter together, they like each other, all about pleasure, joy, joyful things, okay? So there can be some overdoing it with the square in some ways, but really what this is, it's a conflict between that Venus in Pisces, which really wants to devote to a direction, and then Jupiter retrograde in Gemini anyway, but retrograde in Gemini, there's a sense of flitting from one thing to another. So too many options, and so there's a conflict between, are we devoting ourselves to a higher cause, or our higher cause, or are we getting distracted? Okay, and so there's a temptation to get distracted this week, but again, the key is to recognize that we're really trying to get away from old emotional patterning. Okay, that's the key. Okay, and then as we get to the end of the week, when we get to the weekend, that Venus that is in Pisces, it will connect with Saturn in Pisces. Okay, and when it does that, it will be forming a sextile to Mercury in Capricorn. And so Saturn, being the ruler of Capricorn, forming a sextile to a planet in Capricorn, this really speaks kind of the opposite energy of this Venus-Jupiter Venus-Jupiter square that is tempting us to get distracted. And it really concentrates energy, and it's an energy that has to do with more like committing. So committing to a direction, taking that devotional energy of that Venus in Pisces. Venus is exalted in Pisces, and putting it with Saturn kind of says, here's how I'm going to channel that devotion. And then that sextile to Mercury in Capricorn just kind of adds a layer of practicality and like realism to this intention, essentially. Okay, so again, so it's not a huge week this week. I mean, full moons, every month, whatever. But that full moon energy is pretty strong, especially because it's conjuncting that Mars retrograde in Cancer. don't take that too lightly, and just understand that maybe the beginning of the week we might be a little distracted with multiple options, not sure where to devote ourselves. By the weekend, we should have some more clarity around where's the best place to put our energy for the best output. So again, it's Christopher Taylor with Sovereign Harmony. Hope to see you again next time. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you again.